Brilliance Audio presents Coming Through Slaughter by Michael Ondaatje. Performed by Dion Graham. Float by in a car today and see the corner shops, the signs of the owners obliterated by brand names. Tasson's food store, which he lived opposite for a time, surrounded by drink Coca-Cola in bottles. Barks or Laura Lee's Tavern, the signs speckled in the sun. Tom Moore, Yellowstone, Jack's, Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola. Primary yellows and reds muted now against the white, horizontal sheet-wood walls. This district, the homes and stores are a mile or so from the streets made marble by jazz. There are no songs about Gravier Street or Phillips or First or the Mount Ararat Missionary Baptist Church his mother lived next door to. Just the names of the streets written vertically on the telephone poles or the letters sunk into pavement that you walk over. Gravier. A bit too stylish for the wooden houses, almost falling down. The signs, the porches, and the steps broken through where no one sits outside now. It is further away that you find Rampart Street. Then higher up, Basin Street. Then one block higher, Franklin. But here, there is little recorded history, though tales of the Swamp and Smoky Row, both notorious communities where about 100 black prostitutes from pre-puberty to their 70s would line the banquette to hustle, come down to us in fragments. Here the famous whore Bricktop Jackson carried a 15-inch knife, and her lover, John Miller, had no left arm and wore a chain with an iron ball in the end to replace it, killed by Bricktop herself on December 7th, 1861, because of his bestial habits and ferocious manners. And here, one-legged Duffy, born Mary Rich, was stabbed by her boyfriend and had her head beaten in with her own wooden leg. And gamblers carrying cocaine to a game. History was slow here. It was elsewhere in town, in the brothel district of Storyville, that one made and lost money. The black whores and musicians shipped in from the suburbs, and the black customers refused. Where the price of a teenage virgin was $800 in 1860. Where Dr. Miles, who later went into the Alka-Seltzer business, offered cures for gonorrhea. The women wore Gloria de Dijon and Marshall Neal roses, and their whores sold goofer dust and bend-over oil. Money poured in, slid around. By the end of the 19th century, 2,000 prostitutes were working regularly. There were at least 70 professional gamblers. 30 piano players took in several thousand each in weekly tips. Prostitution and its offshoots received $250,000 of the public's money a week. Tom Anderson, the king of the district, lived between Rampart and Franklin. Each year he published a blue book which listed every whore in New Orleans. This was the guide to the sporting district, listing alphabetically the white and then the black girls, from Martha Alice at 1200 Custom House to Louisa Walter at 210 North Basin, and then the octoroons. The Blue Book and similar guides listed everything, and at any of the mansions you could go in with money and come out broke. No matter how much you took with you, you would lose it all in paying for extras, such as watching an oyster dance, where a naked woman on a small stage danced alone to piano music. The best was Olivia, the oyster dancer, who would place a raw oyster on her forehead and lean back and shimmy it down all over her body without ever dropping it. The oyster would crisscross and move finally down to her instep. Then she would kick it high into the air and would catch it on her forehead and begin again. Or at 335 Custom House, later named Iberville, the street he went crazy on, you could try your luck with French Emma's 60-second plan. Whoever could restrain his orgasm with her for a whole minute after penetration was excused the